Welcome to Good Morning LALALAND. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning LALALAND, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, now also available on Apple TV and Roku.
That's right, today is Transformation Tuesday, and we're going to talk all about how to transform your stress into success. That's what I'm talking about. We come together each morning to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law because it's stressful out there, let's face it, and we need to figure this shit out. I get to do that because I'm on TV.
I love that. Stress to success. I love that.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The same energy.
Absolutely, especially on a hashtag Transformation Tuesday. I'm so excited to welcome our guests this morning. Good morning, everyone. Back in the studio, Ms. Leslie Page. She is the founder of La Femme International Film Festival happening this weekend. Good morning, Leslie.
Hey, good morning.
We are so excited that you're here, and we are so grateful that you've created the incredible platform you have to empower women in media. So thank you, first and foremost.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Well, and here at Good Morning LALALAND, we like to know, what is your morning routine? How do you start your day? What's one or two things that really sets it off on the right foot?
Well, the first thing I do is get a cup of coffee. And then I have a husband and child, so my whole day and morning is getting them ready and getting them out of the house. So I'm barely able to function without that cup of coffee. That's what I have to do in order to get moving.
Well, I'll drink to that. Apparently you function
Please.
at quite a high standard if you're able to be a mother, a wife, and the founder of this film festival.
Yeah, it's like 5 jobs.
Producer, director, I mean, how many hats do you wear?
A lot. I'm also a producer, so we've got films that we've got in development and TV shows that we've got in development that we're working with our celebrities on, our past honorees. So yeah, it's a full brand. Definitely crazy.
I can't wait to pick your brain about this later in the show. Good morning, Ms. Valerie McCaffrey is in the house. She's an award-winning casting director, producer, director. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? You guys look great, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Apparently, we were on the same page this morning, the all black, right?
I know.
I like to say great minds. No, great style, right? So tell us a little bit about how you start your day. What's the morning routine like for a casting director?
Well, first of all, casting director is a 24-hour job, but I do the same thing as Leslie. I go for the hot brew in the morning, you know, make sure the cats and the dogs are still alive, and feed them some food, and then I'm at my computer either writing my script that I need to finish and checking my emails, of course. I have a million emails.
It'll be really interesting as we, talk later in the show about how we balance all of the media, the content, the emails, and really stay happy and healthy. Devin and Dan have figured that out.
They have?
And welcome to the show, Ratan. He is the OG rideshare. He's creator of Primetime Shuttle and also now Opoly, Opportunity for Everyone. Good morning, Ratan. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. You guys look wonderful.
So tell us a little bit about your morning routine. I have a feeling you took an Opoly to the studio today, right?
Yes, we did today. It was great. My routine typically, I wake up about 4:30 in the morning and go through my emails and check everything, and then feed my dog in the morning. Then we take a little walk, 10-15 minutes. That's really the time that I think throughout the day what I really need to do and try to manage my day throughout the day that way.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your time and your rides with us here at Good Morning LALALAND. Devin and Dan, welcome back to the show. They're the co-founders of the Beverly Hills Rejuvenation Center, premier anti-aging med spa. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I'm so excited because really, truly, you two have mastered transformation from the inside out, right? Beauty from the inside out. So what is one thing you do to really start your day off right, Dan?
For me, I tell you what, I'm more of a late night person. I generally don't know how to shut it off. I try and squeeze every drop out of every day, and I, excuse me, I find myself up late, and so I'm not an early morning person at all. I just kind of keep pushing and pushing until every drop of energy is gone out of the body, and I get up usually about 7:30 or so and start getting bombarded with text messages right away. So my partner here is the king of email. So he's getting slaughtered with emails, and I'm getting slaughtered with text messages. So that's the start of my day usually.
Well, Devin, what do you do to prep yourself to slaughter these emails, if you will?
Yeah, well, Dan's a late night shift, and I'm up between 4:30 and 5 in the morning, and like them, I got to have the coffee first, take care of the animals, and then it's a big rush to beat the LA traffic, so get in the office about 6:30. And then, like he said, I just really, we get a lot of emails coming from the East Coast, so I respond to a lot of that. And then get to the gym, usually about 9, from 9 to 10:30 in the morning, so get my workout in, and then breakfast, and then finish the day with meetings. So it's usually every day, it's pretty much the same, but a great day.
Well, thank you all for starting your day off here at Good Morning LaLaLand with us. We're excited to talk to you more later in the show. Welcome back, Dr. Erin.
I know, we missed you. You have no idea.
It was like a whirlwind, but it's crazy when you get on the actual airplane, you feel like there's like a pattern interrupt that happens. It could be like a day or it could be like a month. It's just like a refreshing around it, right?
Yeah, airlines are great for the pattern interrupts.
Airports, airlines.
Absolutely. And what's better is a little dose of New York City, right?
Right. Yeah, it was fascinating. And it was so successful. We had 150 women, this beautiful like ballroom at Park Ave Hotel. It was totally successful. They sold $150,000 on stage, and I'm proud to say that because so often as women, we're afraid to talk about sales, we're afraid to talk about money, and when you make the transformation, the shift to think of money is actually when you actually help somebody, you actually begin to realize that like, this is a great thing, and yes, everyone should like boast about it because it's for everyone's highest good. So I was so excited. We had a fantastic day. I emceed the entire thing, did a bunch of invocation, meditation, all this stuff. And afterwards, I had like literally 20 minutes. So I was like, okay. So I went across the park, put my headphones in, and I was like, just blissed out in the park. And it reminded me, and I talked about in the seminar, that 1999, I went to my first conference. I was there 1999. I was there for the 4-day conference. Yeah. And literally, I bonded with this girl that was sitting next to me.
We got a little party going on in the back there.
Anyway, so I go, so have you been in self-development for a while? And she's like, no, I used to be. I got out of it for a year, but I'm getting my butt back in the chair. And I was like, oh, what happened? She goes, well, a year ago, I hired a coach. It was $80,000. And in 1999, that was a lot of money.
Serious.
That's a lot of money right now.
So she goes, I go to the first meeting, and he goes, and he screamed at her. He goes, what are you committed to? And she was like, I don't know. And,
oh my gosh.
And so he yells at her again, and she literally is like, I think that's why I'm here, to figure that out. And he's like, I'm so sorry we can't work together. Here's your money back, and sent her on her way. And she realized like a year later that like she was like, oh, like it all comes down to commitment.
Yes.
And I was just thinking about that it's like, what are we really committed to? We're wasting our time, right?
It's such a great question, and it's one of the things or thoughts that John Astorif inspired within me in his interview, right? Mm-hmm. So in this Boss Babe event, what did you discover or rediscover, remind yourself and other people of that you're committed to, Erin, do you think?
I mean, for me, I'm very clear. Like, there's areas of your life, like, for me, of course, it's truth and my spiritual work and that. But I never question it. It's never hard. The obstacles come there. But I realized this years back in a transformational workshop. We started talking about commitment, and I realized that in the health arena, I'm not so committed to perfect ideal health. I'm committed to being thin. So if I'm thin, I'll eat some junk. And then if I so it's interesting, you just get clear of what you're truly committed to, and then you can decide, do you want to get angry and decide something new, or do you want to just not have the delusion of a goal that you're not even really truly committed to, right?
Rob Mack says a healthy dose of delusion is okay. And I live on that principle, Erin, so I'm going to have another cup of coffee if you're going to tell me otherwise.
There's delusion where you actually know something's possible that may seem out of possibility, and there's delusion that means that, that basically you're not looking at really what needs to be done in order to have something happen.
It's a really great question, Erin, that you sort of present here, because I think so many of us live our lives not being clear about what we're committed to, and then therefore spread ourselves very thin, pursuing things that we don't genuinely find a lot of happiness in, or aren't even particularly interested in pursuing for very long. And then we're like, why am I so stressed out? Why am I spread so thin? So it's a good question to explore.
Totally.
You know what I'm very committed to?
What are you committed to?
A great show here at Good Morning LaLaLand. Yesterday we had a lot of fun. We missed you, Dr.
Wait, we're in the middle of a very deep conversation. Hold on one second. It's like we just cut off. Like, it was so important that I just want to acknowledge that it is so important for people to think about commitment and what they're really up to.
It is.
Yeah.
What would you say, Jess, you feel most committed to at this point in your life?
Well, that's what I was trying to say, is that I'm most committed to producing a great show here at Good Morning LaLaLand, a platform in a community where people can tell their stories, where they can empower, they can engage, they can enlighten, and they can ignite a conversation that is important,
and
conversation, and acknowledging that. So we had a great show yesterday. I'd love for you to take a look. Yeah, we are community powered. We always have the best guests. You know, it's like life show here on Good Morning LaLaLand. I get to wake up with the best people, see Rob every day, meet these incredible group of guests. And you know, it's always fun to take a look at some of the conversations we've had and some of the highlights from them.
I didn't know if I wanted to do it from the get-go. And then I started to realize I could make a name for myself, and like I enjoy doing it.
The hustling, the persistency.
What keeps you persistent? What keeps you hustling?
My dream, because I'm not where I am yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm here, but I want to be here. Oh, tell me you love me. I need someone on days like this. I do. On days like this, oh, can you say? Whoa! Thank you.
It's so important because those guests are truly committed to fulfilling their passions, pursuing a life that they love. These young artists, Daniel DiMaggio at 15, starring in ABC's American Housewife, primetime television. Who knows what's going to happen with his career if he's committed to it in the next 5 years. Madison S. Deaver, 4 million subscribers on YouTube. What an incredible voice she has.
Wow, that's a lot of followers.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
It's mind-blowing. And what's incredible is, you know, I was just sharing with her that I have this shiver test, right? When you connect with someone at a deep level, or you feel or recognize the gift that they have, and you feel like it's coming from deep inside them, I get these shivers. And when she's saying, you could just feel how incredibly talented she was, and she was just connected to that which she most loves doing.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to watch her journey. I mean, she brought me to tears. She was absolutely incredible. And Kareen, I mean, what a star. She is a PR maven from 8 years old. She was committed to really developing her clients and sharing their stories and their passions. And she's doing it at an award-winning level internationally, here in the US, in Canada, in France, in the UK. Shout out to Kareen. She really knows how to dedicate her life and service to the success of other people. And I truly admire that.
Absolutely. You know, one of the themes that I really deeply appreciated about yesterday's show was that all of our guests, all 3 of them, were clear at a very young age what they most wanted to do with their lives. I find that profound because it took me decades to discover what I really wanted to do.
That's amazing.
Right? Yeah.
What a gift.
Totally.
So do you guys want to talk about Transformation Tuesday? You take this one because you sent those great articles over.
Yeah, so you know, the last month or so, I've discovered this sprinkling of articles really about YouTube stars. And these YouTube stars are, you know, experiencing like unprecedented levels of success, and they're working crazy hours and they're burning out really fast. So they're super stressed out. And part of the reason they're stressed is they have to continue to produce content every single day. If they even take one day off or they take a week off, it's a huge deal. They might lose their followers. The other piece of it is to always be creative. That takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy. And another part of it is that they get a lot of negative feedback too. So that can be all very difficult things to deal with. And so as I'm reading these articles, I realized that a lot of them are having meltdowns and they're like super stressed. And they're not sure what to do about it. So I just wanted to have a conversation about that.
So you said from the New Yorker that we're being hypnotized by technicians we can't see for purposes we don't know. And so it's like whether you're consuming every day from the consumer standpoint or if you're producing content every day, we've gotten into this rat race around creating content. And so like we have to ask ourselves, where is this actually going and where is it actually measurable and how do we actually make it into like an asset and a community and things that are actually impacting? Because these people, I love the videos you sent of the gal who was having a breakdown. I don't know how much was real or how much what do you think about that?
It's absolutely very real. A lot of these content creators who are usually making content that is very comedic really have recently turned on their cameras to capture their true, authentic, emotional state. And so many of them are being honest that they are on the verge of breakdown. And it's these wildly unrealistic expectations. Nobody knows where this is going to go. Nobody can predict it. It's the Wild West of media right now. We have more opportunity than ever to create our own content, to build our platforms. But the expectation in building your brand and creating content, especially to do it by yourself the majority of the time. You're shooting it, you're editing it, you're writing it, you're producing it, you're directing it, you're starring starring in it. When do you ever have time to really explore any other avenue of your life? Because all of it is for your followers.
Such a poignant point to make there, Jesslyn. And you sort of nailed something too, is that it is unpredictable, and it's intentionally unpredictable because there are these algorithms, right, that all of these, like YouTube and Google and all these platforms use in order to keep it, sort of, so that you to basically put it in a place where it's not easy for people to just monetize for it and or engage, continue to build engagement.
On Facebook, I don't go on Facebook that much anymore, and so when I do post, it barely, barely anyone sees it as much because unless you're on there every day, those are that you have to do that rat race.
Exactly.
You don't keep up with it.
Well, and here's the other thing too, is so many people were getting these validations, if you will, from their likes, from their comments, from their followers, from their subscribers. And without actively getting them, they're not getting the validation that they're seeking. Right. Without this validation, without being able to beat the algorithm because they're not getting the attention that they're normally used to, they're breaking down. They're taking it so personally. Algorithms are not personal. Algorithms are not a reflection of your talent, of your passion, of what your future is. Algorithms are being run, like we mentioned earlier, by somebody in a machine. It has nothing to do, but people are taking it so personal.
That's right. And those algorithms are always changing, and they're changing on purpose, right? And so that's so for me, the point and the purpose of this entire conversation, I think, is that when you prioritize money or you prioritize success above sex, but you prioritize any of those things above peace and happiness, you're not going to experience peace or happiness in any real abiding way. It's always going to be something that's elusive to you. And so it's a bit of a tightrope, and I certainly sympathize with not just YouTube stars, but folks that are out there in the world working 9-to-5 jobs or working corporate jobs, because it's very difficult to sort of walk this tightrope between achieving success and making lots of money while also, being at peace and being happy and being loved or feeling loved and being loved.
Well, and you're seeing a lot. What I think is happening with the industry also is we're seeing, I predict a huge shift in that we have individual influencers, individual people, and there's going to be an umbrella more where people collaborate together so that it takes some pressure off of each person for all of that. So it's all about, teamwork, collaborating, all that about.
It is. And peace. It's all about peace.
It's all about peace, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to check in with our guests.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Good Morning La La Land. Our mission is to inspire, enlighten, and entertain, and we have done that with the next issue of Focus magazine, and we are lovingly calling it the Romance Issue. I'm Jessica Moyer, the managing editor of Focus magazine, celebrating the people of Los Angeles from Malibu to Manhattan Beach and into West Hollywood who are making a difference here in LA. Gracing the cover is Ms. Tosca Mas. She is the co-founder of Passion Flicks. It's a new streaming service dedicated to passion. Also on the cover is Mr. Rob Mack Official, my co-host of Good Morning La La Land, a happiness expert who's got a great take on the language of love. Also on the cover, Ms. Lori Harder. She's released her new book, A Tribe Called Bliss, and she's talking all of the things about loving your tribe. We're also proud to feature Tracy Bregman, from Mean Girl to Legend. You may remember her from Young and the Restless, and we're talking her journey in Hollywood. I'm also proud to announce that we have iconic matchmaker Carly Spindel's take on dating in modern romance. And for the love of television, we're also featuring Mr. Larry Namer. He was the co-founder of E! Entertainment, now president of the Newtown Entertainment Group. And we had a very special interview with him on my podcast, LA Unscripted. Also in this issue, we're featuring my dear friends, the Royals Paris, Faye and Hisham, great designers from Paris, now in Beverly Hills. We're also excited to feature Cherie J. Wilson. You may recognize her as one of the femme fatales and quintessential American actresses from shows like Walker, Texas Ranger, Dallas, and now she's launching her own production company, Sandalphon Entertainment. And we are community powered here at Focus Magazine. We're proud to feature Michelle Gillette's contribution, Healthy Sexy Brains. We're also proud to feature how one community mother is taking on our mental health and school violence crisis with her company, Q Wonder. And social media superstar and model is wielding her influence. Focus is proud to feature Sarah McDaniel. And our Focus food editor, Tamby Saffron, had the opportunity to interview Chef Seth Greenberg, who's taking on Beverly Hills with his new restaurant, Citizen. And this woman is reinventing pizza. We've got a great feature on Gail Becker, the founder of Cully Power, reinventing some of our favorite foods. And our Focus TV travel editor, Wendy Kretschmer, took an incredible trip to the newest Gran Vela seaside sanctuary on Mexico's Baja Peninsula. It's life, love, and the pursuit of romance in the current issue of Focus magazine. Be sure to catch all the video interviews available on Focus TV Network and visit focusmag.us if you want to see the digital copy of this magazine. I'm Jasmine Moyer. We'll see you next time.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa on this Transformation Tuesday, talking about transformation of women in today's world with these two amazing empowered women right here, Leslie LePage and Valerie McCaffrey with La Femme and filmmaker and all of the above. How are you ladies?
We're doing great.
Yeah.
It's the show.
We're here, aren't we?
You're here, and we're so excited to be honoring you and all the work you've created with La Femme International Film Festival. We know you launched it in 2005. Tell us about the catalyst for when you decided to make this.
Oh my gosh. I was actually sitting at the other festival that's in Utah.
The other one?
The other one, the small little one that they have. And we were, a bunch of girls were producers, writers, directors, we're all sitting at Starbucks. And I said, you know, there's not a lot of films being directed by women here this year, and that's how can that be? You know, there's content being created. So I said, we have to do something. We've got to like change the world. And they're like, yes, let's do it. And I started writing down the names of this potential film festival on a Starbucks little napkin. And I said, here's the name, this is what we should call it, who's in? And they were like, well, you know, I'm pregnant, oh, I have a writing assignment. And so they all kind of backed out. And I said, but we've got to do this. And they're like, yes, you do this.
We're excited, go for
The
it.
difference between commitment and not committed,
Oh
right?
my gosh. And then I just became the maverick of like, you know, hitting my head against the brick wall trying to break it down.
Well, it's incredible that you have such empowered women like Valerie on your team making this happen. Tell us about the lineup for this year.
Oh my gosh. Well, we've got over 100 films that we are showing through a 4-day time frame in 2 theaters at the Regal Cinemas in downtown LA. We've got a special screening. We're doing kind of a salute empowerment to women in animation. So we've got 2 anime features. One called Megalobox. It's a TV series from Japan. And we're bringing in the producer, Manako Fuzuyoshi, from Japan to do the Q&A. Then we've got another animation, which is Makia, When the Flowers Bloom, and that's being sponsored by 11 Arts Animation Studio. We're doing a Q&A with the VP of Paramount Animation, Emily Norwind. Then we've got a Sony special screening with Q&A, which is a sneak preview of The Girl in the Spiderweb, a feature that they're releasing next year. We have a Q&A with the production team for that. So,
what a lineup!
Oh yeah, we've got special screenings. We've got 5 seminars. We have an opening gala, a closing award ceremony where we honor celebrities who have empowered other women, so women celebrities. It's crazy.
And you know what we've got? The sizzle. Let's take a look.
It's a very nice event.
I've been there with the unmitigated disaster, but they were wonderful learning experiences.
And I truly believe that we are on the threshold of immense change.
And I wanted my film here.
I love the name. But this is one of the, I guess, festivals that I had on my list that I needed to attend.
I have never been to such a supportive film festival. I love LALALAND.
It's a wonderful new world, and I'm very, very honored. Right now is the time. You are the one. And if you're looking for a helping hand, it is probably at the end of your own arm. I am Shirley Ralph. I love you just the way you are, and I thank you all for this award tonight. I really do. Thank you.
It's such an exciting time in history for women.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, such an incredible time, and I just want to just say thank you for all your work for the women's empowerment movement.
Yes.
And so for someone out there that's watching this, like, I really have a passion and they want to step into the industry, obviously they want to come to your event, but what other advice would you give them?
Train, because women have to be, no offense, you're the guys, but we have to be better than the guys. We have to be more talented, we have to be more professional, we have to have more education, we have to be better. Because that's the only way that we can actually change the world. And in 2005, when I started this, people said, you'll never get sponsorship. No one will ever come to see this film festival. What? Women only direct romantic comedies. They can't direct action films. So we've come a long way, and it's been an interesting journey.
I have something that I always feel that we're all on this planet together, and I do feel like it shouldn't be men against the women or women against the men. I think it's how to navigate ourselves within the workplace and to be and to still keep your femininity and don't feel like you have to be you know, a masculine force, to understand that being a woman is powerful and how you can use your brains and use your feminine, you don't lose your femininity and just keep it grounded.
This is a very interesting topic, and Rob and Valerie specifically, I'd love to know what your take on it. Female performers, right? And embracing their femininity and really owning that and bringing that into a room or into an audition, but navigating the business of that, bringing that same feminine power sometimes can get us into trouble. That's when the lines get blurry. That's when there's 50 shades of gray. How do you think we can best navigate that as performers in the industry?
Well, I think that, and you know, to be political, but I think that we have to say no. And it's okay to say no. And it's understanding that all of us have to say no. Not just a part of us, because then it just opens the gateway to somewhat of the predators that can recognize that there's weakness in the chain. So we all have to say no, and I think then it's a level playing field.
I love that. I completely agree with you. And on the other side of every no is a yes, a very hard yes. And I think that when you're clear about that yes, the no's become very easily, right? They unfold very easily. And so it's that. And I would also say that, just based on science, the things that make women successful and men successful are very similar. I mean, in fact, I'd say that they're identical at the end of the day. It's emotional intelligence, it's to some lesser extent traditional intelligence, it's resilience, it's grit, it's optimism, right? These are things that man, woman, child, we all share, but they're just expressed a little differently for men and women sometimes. Not always, just sometimes. And so I think at the end of the day, equality is really an appreciation, acknowledgement, and celebration of difference.
Right.
It's not trying to make everybody the same thing.
Right.
That's so beautiful. And that's really speaks to the festival you've created and some of your objectives. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, we empower women, and it's not about stopping men. It's about one day in the entertainment industry, the guys waking up and saying, what happened? How did all these girls get here? you know? And really helping the women understand that you can have a backbone and say no and say yes, as long as you know who you are and you have your boundaries set. If you walk into an office, this is an opinion business. Everyone's got an opinion. But if you know who you are and what you're selling, your product, your film, then you'll succeed. It may not be at the first go around. It may be the second or third go around, but you can't take no for an answer. You must keep moving forward, and you have to survive. So women have to learn how to be team players, like the guys do. The guys will beat each other up and then they'll go off and fight against the enemy. Women need to learn that, because if we can empower our own and empower ourselves with knowing who we are, then there's nothing that can stop us. And we can be professionals and mothers and wives and cook and do everything else we have to do.
And clean.
And clean.
I'm going to hire that guy.
It's such a good point. I think, too, at least the men that I know that I would consider stars in whatever arena or industry they're in, there is a very clear recognition that they can only be successful to the extent that the women around them are successful, and that they lift, but that by lifting others, particularly women, they lift themselves.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, I love the point that you made around this sort of being all about creating a sort of healthy, happy, harmonious way of relating to each other.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, even though it seems like it's about genders, it's really about just how to be human.
Yeah. And how to accept other people's power. It's not about just diminishing somebody's power. It's about saying, that's a powerful man or that's a powerful woman, and I want to embrace that power, and that's great, and I can be powerful too. You don't have to belittle yourself to get ahead. You can walk into the room and be as powerful and embrace that power.
What's been the most rewarding aspect of this festival for you?
That I've made so many differences in so many lives of filmmakers. We've touched, 10,000 filmmakers in 14 years. It's insane. And a lot of these filmmakers have gone off to do their second films and gotten agency representation and management representation and distribution. And it was our start. I mean, they landed at our festival and we supported them. It's a high-end, glitzy festival, but a mom and pop feel. We have the love that I think a lot of other festivals don't convey, but that's very important for me to convey that love to the filmmakers so that they know that they're embraced.
And what do you love so much about Ms. McCaffrey?
Oh my God. Besides being extremely talented filmmaker in her own right, and really making such a leap going from casting into filmmaking.
Dirty Bomb has had great success.
And it's an amazing,
congratulations, Madrid,
it's an amazing film. And she's one of our board members now, and she is now taking Dirty Bomb, I don't want to speak for you, but you're taking Dirty Bomb into a feature-length film.
Somebody bring the champagne. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's you know, I first came to the festival as a panelist.
Yes.
And then it grew into something more, and of course now we're friends. And I always, you know, love the female, you know, power of making movies, and you know, there's such a low percentage as directors in the Directors Guild. Like it's like what, 19% or 9% or something that are.
There's a lot of room to grow.
Lots to improve.
And you know, you know, I just feel like fear is something that just is not in my realm, and like I was just raised with a father and a mother that just was like, you can do anything you want if you want to do it, you know. And I think that that's so important to have that basis of like, you know, there is no failure, you're just going, you know, and which is the same thing that Leslie was saying. But I just love, you know, the festival. It's just such a great festival, very supportive of women and really good movies to see. Yeah. And the panels are great, and the gift bags are just amazing.
Thanks to my sponsors, man. These gift bags are always off the hook.
Oh, they're off the hook. Okay.
Well, maybe we'll go through one of them on Monday's show after the festival. I love a little unboxing.
Tell us where it is and how people can get involved.
Okay, so it's at the Regal Cinemas this year in downtown LA Live, and we start Thursday, October 11th, and go all the way to the 14th. You can go to www.lafemme.org and you can buy your tickets there. We've got a special code for all those people watching.
Yeah, we'll slide that right across.
We'll slide that across. And we've got 5 panels and mixers and special screenings. So if they tap onto it, all the information is there. And I hope they all come and join us, because it's such a phenomenal educational element to our festival that they should at least go to that.
Absolutely. Check it out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Paprat.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting news from all over the world.
We are live.
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.
Welcome to the very first episode of Sadie Says. I'm your host, Natalie Sadie. Welcome, Daniel Hall. First episode.
I didn't even realize it was your first episode.
Hi, welcome to Dr. Erin Show. It's been a while since we've been here, and I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about discovering your purpose and calling, and I have Elle Russ in the house. Thank you so much for coming all the way down here today.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Tara Tenner, and this is the Model Mama Show. I'm so excited about our guest today. We have Chelsea Cannell-Briggs, who this is literally a blast from the past, you guys.
It's true.
We haven't seen each other since we worked together at Fox Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I am excited and delighted because we
we have an amazing guest. So thank you, Janie, for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm a fan of both of you.
I'm Jessamine Mollier, and this is LA Unscripted, and I'd love to welcome to my show Mr. Jacques Silverstein. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my great pleasure to be with you.
This is somebody who went from super nerd to supermodel, so I'm so excited. Let's talk to Anna.
Yes.
Anna, you were the winner of our very first Viva Glam model search.
Yeah, you guys were actually my very first photo shoot.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Reshape. I'm Allie Landry, and I am so thrilled to have our next guest. So I am so grateful that you are here with us at Reshape today.
Thank you, Allie. I'm so happy to see you. And you couldn't look more gorgeous if you tried.
Today's guest is best known for being the fitness guru on 6 seasons of The Biggest Loser. He's a New York Times best-selling author. Dolvet. Dolvet, we don't even say Quince anymore. It's just Dolvet. It's like
one name.
Dolvet.
You are tuning in to Slay with Rachel McCourt, and I have a fabulous guest. In studio with me is Liza Glukoff. She's just been named executive producer of programming at Awesomeness TV. We have perfect lighting. We've got some Spa Girl vodka in case we get a little crazy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by the very beautiful former Miss California and now a TV host, Natasha Martinez. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Hello and welcome to The Joe Show. I'm Josephine, and here on our couch today is none other than the heartthrob of Shahs of Sunset, Shervin.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ren Wood Show. I am so excited for my guest today. I have the beautiful Bianca Hayes. Thank you so much for being here, Bianca. Give me a hug.
For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
Hola, yo soy Gina Moreno y soy una reportera aquí en Los Ángeles. Para mí, mi pasión es para decir las historias de las personas que han luchado lo imposible. Todas las entrevistas aquí en Focus TV. Hi, I'm Gina Moreno, a reporter here in Los Angeles, and my passion is to tell people's stories, the stories of people who have accomplished the impossible. For all the interviews, make sure to watch Focus TV.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm so excited to welcome back to the show the co-founders of the Beverly Hills Rejuvenation Center, Devin and Dan. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
We
Good to
invited
be
you
here.
especially because, you know, in talking about the conversation of really transforming our lives from depression into success, I really immediately thought of the two of you, because what you have done and what you've created with this med spa is really transformation from the inside out, and really a way to feel better about yourself, inside and out. So I would love if you could just speak to that a little bit. I know, Dan, you're doing a lot of the internal work with hormones.
Yeah. Well, you know, I guess I go through my life, I always assume everybody knows about this stuff, right? About how great you can feel. And then I meet people all the time and they're looking at me like, you know, they say, what do you do? And I say, well, you know, we restore hormone levels to a youthful range and we help people who are aging look and feel younger, and they're like, what does that mean, right? And I start talking about bioidentical hormones and they look at me and they go, I don't even understand. And so there's still a lot of people out there that haven't really even heard of this whole concept.
And what I think is so interesting though too is really you can be at any age really, and have a hormonal imbalance.
Well, so essentially what happens when you live at home with mom and dad and they pay all your bills and they buy all your stuff, your life is pretty calm. And,
you don't say.
You get up and you go to school and you do a little, you know, physical stuff with, you play a little sports and everything's fine. But what happens to humans is when they graduate from high school, they become overexposed to the hyperstimulant adrenaline, and the other stimulants get pushed down too much stress means the other energy producing hormones decline. And so when you get out of that house and you start paying all your own bills and taking care of all your responsibilities, you become so overstressed that it starts pushing down all these energy hormones. And then essentially what happens is you're literally living on adrenaline, and as adrenaline goes down throughout the day, now your energy declines, you get tired, you get stiff, you get tight, you start to develop all kinds of issues because these energy producing hormones have been pushed down to a low level.
Hashtag adulting is hard.
Overrated.
Overrated.
So what do you do when someone comes in and they say, I'm dealing with, maybe they're just kind of lonely or getting sadder or getting on that brink of depression? What do you do?
We do it right away, and we look at those levels, and we can say with confidence the likelihood is that when these levels are restored, you're going to feel very different in your life. You're going to feel better. You're going to have a lot more energy. You're going to feel excited again about life, you know, and that's what we see happen time and time again.
But let's just play devil's advocate for a minute, because let's pretend hormones are up, but they're not living the life they were designed to live. They're sad or they're getting depressed because they're kind of not in the job that they really want, their relationship's off, they're whatever. So do you deal with that also, or how much is that? How do you do that?
You know what? It's funny. Does the tail wag the dog or the dog wag the tail, right? So if you talk to me, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say once you, remember, I say stress-related decline is what occurs. So who doesn't have that? So which basically means every single living adult past the age of about 20 has hormonal decline. And they have an opportunity to feel much better mentally and physically than they are currently feeling. Now, so when you restore those levels, no matter what your job is, no matter where you're at in life, you're going to feel better. And it's going to make your present moment a better situation no matter what.
Or give you more clarity in how you can address the other problems in your life. And it may give you the boost to choose to do something else. But at least you'll be coming from a place of strength and confidence and feeling good. And you can make good decisions when you feel great. Well, and the same goes, you know, for the other services at the med spa, right, Devin? I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, anytime you're feeling better about yourself, you're going to perform better and make better decisions in your life. So it definitely works, you know, inside and out.
What does Tony Robbins say? You want to do better in your life? Start with the outside. You would never think he would say that, right? That's exactly what he says. Start with the outside. He said the fastest change you can make in a human being, when they look better, it helps a self-image, and then they start doing better.
I agree, actually. And honestly, maybe this is a little vain, but I'll be complete. I feel like I look better that day. I feel better about myself.
It works with everyone.
If I'm having a really horrible day, I put on my best dress, my best heels.
There you go.
And I feel better.
That's exactly what happens.
I understand that my outside appearance then affects my mindset, but it works.
We should all strive to look our best every day so that we can start off with, that's something we can easily do. No matter what it is, if you're 40 pounds overweight, you can still look your best. You know, and that's what starts with the good self-image. Always focus on anything you can do to look and feel better. It's always a plus.
I had this age spot that was driving me nuts, and my mom saw it, and she said, I can see that on camera, you're going to have to do something about it. So I went to the Beverly Hills Rejuvenation Center, no, really, truly, and I had a series of IPL treatments, and that spot is gone. And I will say, I feel so much better waking up without makeup or going about my day because I'm not self-conscious about the way my skin looks.
There you go.
So thank you for that, because it really did help the way I feel in presenting myself.
Yeah. And we love that. We love seeing people, just any change we can make to see somebody feel better about their life. That's the best part of what we do. It's just wonderful when you hear stories like that. You know, that's what I want to be a part of, is changing lives. So
Absolutely. And when these two are happy, I'm happy.
It's
a direct.
That's right.
So thank you.
Yeah, you bet. You bet.
Tell people where they can find you.
Well, we're over, so we've got several locations, but in West LA, we'd be at 1860 South Sepulveda. It's right between Olympic and Santa Monica Boulevard on Sepulveda. And we've got a location there. We got Corona Del Mar, another fantastic location right down there.
Las
Very
Vegas.
close to Fashion Island.
2 in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas.
We have 11 clinics open, many in Dallas and San Antonio and Austin. We're opening in Boca Raton, Florida. But they can find us also at www.bhrcenter.com.
And also in the latest issue of Focus magazine.
Yeah, sure.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Simone, associate producer here at Focus TV Network, America's first live streaming daily talk show network with my favorite girl.
I'm Jessica Lee, producer and co-host of Good Morning La La Land. So Victoria, tell me what happened this week in Focus?
So we had the Ren Wood Show.
With the hilarious Ben Glebe.
Yeah, we had Mama Tix.
With Harley Ruda, the potential next congressman of California.
Oh, we had Dr. Nina actually in the house.
It was an incredible show. Meredith O'Connor was here. You've definitely seen her on YouTube. And we also had Cole Woods, the modelpreneur.
We have 2 new exciting shows. Some of them you may know from the Bachelor franchise. We had Josh Murray, Naked Chats. Yes,
and Josh Murray.
We had Demario Jackson in the hot seat.
We're so excited to welcome Lindsay Palis to the Focus family. She's got a new show, Eyes Up Here, and had a very special guest, Drama.
Speaking of Lindsay Palis, she was on Good Morning La La Land.
Yes, she was. We had a week full of very special guests. We also had a reality star from Real Housewives of Orange County, Gretchen Rossi.
Another Real Housewives of Orange County, we had Peggy Tanos.
And the jet guy, Hunter Gaylor. He is a man with a plan and a plane.
We had a special episode of Good Morning La La Land.
We did. It was co-hosted by Dr. Sandra Lee. You may know her as Dr. Pimple Popper. She brought in a slew of amazing industry guests. I'm so excited for you to take a look.
Have a divine day.
It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land. And of course, we have a lot of fun here at Focus TV. We have a blooper reel hosted by Brittany Zonka.
The change is starting happening. It's nope, bad take. Nope, nope. Oh, sorry, I messed up. I was talking to the guest. It's a little fast. I bet you don't have one of those in your phone. Nope. Andy's like, damn it, I'm doing things over here. Usually I'm a one-hit wonder with my videos, but right now, how many takes are we on, Andy? Woo! Okay. I think it's maybe take 12. Nope, messed up one word at the end. It's gonna drive me insane. Listen, I've never done so many takes in my life on one video. That was a good one. Good? You like that one? Are we gonna do a blooper reel? Andy's like, you're already on all of them.
Thank you so much for tuning into This Week in Focus.
We're hashtag community powered.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are so excited to have Transformation Tuesday with some amazing women that are making a transformation in all of our lives. Maureen Healy, which is such a great name for what you do. You help basically transforms children, right?
I work with children, that's right.
So talk to us about that.
Sure. My background is children's emotional development. So I've been working with them for nearly 20 years. So throughout the U.S. and actually through the world. I lived in Asia and different places.
Oh, wow.
And helping them feel, healthier and happier is my focus.
When you mentioned living in all the different places, you lived at the base of the Himalayas and you were studying with the Dalai Lama. This is so rare and so special. What was your experience like? What did you learn from that?
Oh, it was extraordinary. Because they say you can learn by listening and just being in someone's presence. You can actually catch what they have. So I'm not claiming to catch, anything.
But you caught something from the Dalai Lama.
But being there was just extraordinary. And why I went was I wanted to see how did they foster well-being in children in the Eastern world.
Wow.
So bringing them together.
So how do they do it?
They do it a little bit differently, and that was sort of really why I went. My first book called Growing Happy Kids talked about inner confidence or Eastern wisdom for Western parents. So that was right before I went and wrote that book, I went there and I just had an extraordinary time.
So tell us, what is the difference? How do they raise their children?
I would say a key difference that sort of is a microcosm, when they take a child home from the hospital, so to speak, or where they gave birth, the first thing they do is introduce the child to the altar and say, this is our spiritual practice, and this is what you'll need throughout your life. So that was the first stop. So it's just a different mindset.
Very different. It's like, here's these toys in our world. Like, here, be content with some toys.
Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose you could compare it to like a baptism.
Right, but the first stop, not even the bathroom, not even the bedroom, not even the bassinet.
Wow.
It's like, okay, you need this, and then we're your parents, and we're going to help you. So it's just an interesting, different dynamic. Yeah.
What led you to focus on children and creating happy, healthy children?
That's a great question. Probably my own childhood was sort of a little rocky, and I just began my career working with CEOs. And I also felt oftentimes, not that all of them, but some of them acted like children. So I did.
Touche.
So I went back to school then and focused on child development and said, well, if I work with children from the get-go, opposed to like, say, 60, 70 years old, I can help them feel healthier and happier, and I don't have to necessarily, you don't have to repeat the same patterns.
But so much of working with children is actually working with the parents.
It's always working with parents.
And the family above and beyond. So can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because I think so many times even when parents bring their child in to a therapist, they think they're going to be fixing their child. When really they're the ones that might need something to fix it.
Right. And that's why I wrote the book, The Emotionally Healthy Child, for parents and educators and professionals. But yes, when I work with children, we always sort of secretly laugh and go, you know this is for your parents. They go, oh, I know. Because there is that recognition that we want to put the problem outside of ourselves sometimes, like, oh, my son or my daughter, but it often clearly involves ourselves in how we parent or teach as well. So there is that dynamic.
So take us through it. So if I'm a parent, I come to you and I say, I have a little child.
Sure.
We're having some issues.
Right.
What do you do?
Depends on the situation and issues. But I would say the number one reason I still see people in my office is bullying. So a lot of times it's healing from emotional trauma. And it's giving children the tools and ideas, how do emotions work and how can I help you release them constructively versus destructively. For example, throwing a chair across the third grade classroom isn't ideal. So how can we shift that? How can we calm and take deep breaths and then make a smarter choice?
But what would you advise the parents in helping their children deal with the bullying?
I can give an example. For example, there was a parent who came to me and said, we're clearly having a problem with our son. He's getting in trouble with the principal. And I said, okay, well, let me talk to him. And the more I spoke to him, the more I recognized he was being bullied. But they weren't, the school wasn't seeing it. They were just seeing poor behavior on the playground. So they were seeing that he was actually acting out. But then when we got deeper, we realized, oh, he was being bullied as well. So with the parents, we eventually brought him to another school. We made choices so that his environment could be supportive, could be healthy, that the people and adults in his lives were recognizing who he was and helping him.
This is one of the things that I love about you and your teachings, and also, of course, the book, The Emotionally Healthy Child, is that so much of it is about as a parent, being the change that you want to see in your children. Right? And so can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because I think that's one of the things I've discovered in my own life is that, if I want to teach anybody anything, I can often show them better than I can tell them.
Right.
And this is especially true with children.
Right.
So can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, children don't learn by being told. They just hear blah, blah, blah. You want me to pick up my homework or pick up my clothes or do my homework? But yes, if you can be that calming presence, Chapter 5 of The Emotionally Healthy Child is about mindfulness, which is helping us learn how to calm and slow and be that refuge for our children when they're having these emotional moments. And then, of course, we want to give them the ideas and tools to release things constructively. But the more we have our emotional house in order, the easier it is for children not only to learn, but to mimic our behavior. So it is essential.
So true.
So incredible, absolutely.
This weekend, a woman stood up in the audience and she said, how do I deal with being an entrepreneur and a mom? I'm trying to balance all of it. And I was contemplating the question there. I was thinking, I feel like the answer always is to do our internal work, because then it just transcends and all the other relationships. So I love that you do trauma work for the kids and hopefully for the parents, because it's just out picturing over and over and in all the situations. So profound, huh?
Right, yeah. And also we don't have to be perfect. I think part of raising an emotionally healthy child is learning to repair the relationship and saying I'm sorry, or maybe I could have done that better when something went awry and we drop curses in the car or whatever it may be, you know.
Yeah,
but
for
learning
sure.
how to help them and learn together.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. It's amazing.
Speaking of together, I have to give a shout out to Kim Corbin, New World Library, the publicist, and we share the same publishing company.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So how was that experience working with New World Library?
They were wonderful, really great. And I was writing the book, and I live 2 miles from the Montecito mudslide, so I had to sort of bump it back, and there was a little delay. And so they were just wonderful throughout the whole process.
So if there was one thing that you most wanted people to know, sort of about raising an emotionally healthy child,
Right.
what would you suggest or recommend?
Well, that it's a skill that we can learn. And one theme throughout the book is that we can all learn how to stop and catch ourselves and calm and then make smarter choices that are good for you and good for others. So children can learn that, and as adults as well. Of course, we all need it throughout our lives.
Oh my God. Absolutely true. Yes, and it's interesting. I think it's easy for us sometimes to think, that when we're making sort of mental or psychological or emotional changes, that there's something drastically or dramatically different about that than there is sort of making physical changes in our lives, right? That for some reason we know that we can't go out tomorrow and run a marathon just because we ran a couple miles today. We know it's not probably possible.
Right.
But for some reason we have different expectations around psychological and emotional changes. We think, oh, I've tried meditation or I've tried mindfulness.
Right.
It didn't work, but we tried for 5 minutes.
Right.
So it's something you have to practice over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's that incremental habit of getting and moving and making that progress. And seeing the little progress, maybe your son used to hit someone on the playground and now he walks away. Well, that's big progress,
Right.
although it doesn't feel like it, but it is.
Right.
So seeing those little steps in the right direction.
Absolutely. Or you used to use a baseball bat, now he just uses a ruler. Whatever it is.
Maybe it's a Nerf ruler.
Exactly, Nerf ruler, even better.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Maureen, so much for being here, for sharing your time and your insight with us. Tell everyone where they can find and follow you.
Sure. You can learn more on my website, growinghappykids.com. And there's all sorts of information and videos and free excerpts.
Just love that.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Good morning, La La Land.
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning into This Week in Focus. I'm your associate producer of the Focus TV network, which is America's first video streaming talk show network, but you already knew that. And I got my girl with me,
Jez Moye, co-host of Good Morning La La Land.
So last week on the Focus TV network, we had the Wrenwood Show. On Purpose with Brittany Zonker, we had
the incredible actor Reggie Watkins.
On the LA Home Show with our host Natasha Phillips
was broker extraordinaire Amy Kane.
Yes. On Eyes Up Here with Lindsay Palis, we had
the actress Shai Fontanette.
On Naked Chats with Josh Murray, we had
Sheena Marie from Vanderpump Rules.
Yes, we're also so excited to announce the newest issue of Focus magazine.
And we are lovingly calling it the Romance Issue. We're proud to feature Ms. Tosca Musk on the cover, along with Focus TV family Rob Mack official.
Yes,
and
our guy.
Lori Harder.
So, speaking of Rob Mack, co-host of Good Morning La La Land, Jeslyn Moye, there was a very busy week at Good Morning La La Land. Who was on the show?
It was a great week in La La Land. On the show, we had two-time Emmy Award-winning producer and actor Eddie Perez.
Yes.
We also had dating expert Laurel House.
What?
She co-hosts the hashtag Man Whisperer with Rob Mack.
With Rob Mack.
We were really excited to talk tennis with Carrie Lynn. And all the way from Orange County, Rachel Savoda.
Wes Gear was actually here repping his Rock to Recovery event.
And Focus TV with Good Morning La La Land was on the red carpet to promote Rock to Recovery 3. We talked to Drew Carey, Jeremy Jackson, Kira Reed-Lorsch was there. Let's take a look at the concert.
Let me hear you say, hell yeah! Say, hell yeah! Ready for the F-bomb? Say, fuck yeah! Now scream! I love you guys. Let's do this.
So much fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning into This Week in Focus. I'm Victoria Simone.
And I'm Jessica Moye. Don't miss the new issue of Focus magazine. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited for hashtag Transportation Tuesday.
Look at you with the turn of phrase.
Exactly. Rotan Joe is in the house. He is one of the OG creators of ride sharing, primetime shuttle. You've seen the red vans all over town. And now Opoly. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
So, tell us about the new platform you've created.
Well, it's called Opoly. Opoly stands for opportunity for everyone. We really wanted to create something that, how can we level the playing fields? There's too much going on in the world. And I wanted to create something that would help everybody to have a level the playing field.
And when you're talking about leveling the playing field in ride sharing, correct? In ownership of vehicles, owning your business, and having safe transportation to and from mainly the airport to home, door-to-door service that you're able to schedule. So tell us a little bit about how it differs from other ride-sharing platforms like Lyft or Uber.
Sure. So with Opoly, you can schedule ahead of time. By scheduling ahead of time, you never have to wait for your driver. Another thing nowadays, what happens when you're standing at the airport or whatever, all you're doing is staring at the phone, right? That driver's not coming any faster, right? Every person, everybody looking at it. And can you imagine how much time I'll be spending on the screen today?
Watching that little car buzz and, oh, why didn't he turn left? I'm right here.
This way. Message from me when I did that.
So what we wanted to do, we wanted to take all the stress away from you. So if you can schedule with us, so your driver will be there waiting for you. You can go to, we're at Centric Airport right now. We're serving over about 100 airports throughout the country.
That's impressive. Like,
yes,
how the hell did you do this? Like, that's no small feat. Did you have startup funds? How did it work for you guys?
This is all magic. It happens through, it's not about we having funds, what we had, it's always been, I've always been driven, how do I make a difference in people's life? How could you be responsible? It's not about doing this ride share. I've been in this industry for 20 years. I understand what it takes to pick up somebody from their home, take him to the airport, or take anywhere else. It is a huge responsibility, right? We don't think about it. Just think about it for a moment. When you get behind that vehicle, it's literally you giving up all your control in somebody else's hand. You have no idea what that person's been and what kind of training they have and where they've been. So it's a great thing, actually, what happened to this industry. It really needed it. What we wanted to do, we wanted to come in and standardize and professionalize the service. We wanted to take all of our experience that we have. We take that, we want to make that owner-operator program, what we call the independent contractors, right? Everybody is their own business owners. We really want to transform properly that we make sure that when that independent contractor works for us, they're well-trained, they understand how to pick you up from your home, whether you're elder, whether you're younger. They can actually come pick up your luggage from your home. I mean, they're not gonna come in a honk, they will actually come pick up your luggage. And then they know how to handle whether your luggage is bigger or small. And the airport, average driver, our drivers are put in average about 100,000 miles a year.
Wow.
That's a lot of mileage, right? That every one of our drivers take us about 4 vehicles off the road.
Wow,
we're all about a
huge.
share ride. We want to be responsible for this whole share ride. This is why we want to be able to take off, if there's 100,000, 200,000 ride share drivers, we want to be able to professionalize and standardize them and cut down probably 50 to 60% of those drivers and by sharing a ride, that is what our platform is all about.
Such a great idea. I've taken the shared ride on Uber and Lyft as well, and I've had some great experiences, and then I've had times when I went like way out of my way, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to do that ride share thing. And so how do you guys overcome something like that?
Yeah, it's a great question, because what we wanted to do is all of our rates are fixed rate. We do not have a meter.
And no surge pricing.
Oh, that's what they call surge pricing. So you go from here to cost you $24, $25 to the airport, and you don't, by the way, our drivers actually will take the shortest route because they don't have any incentive to go around the block and go in the traffic. We have no idea how much you're going to end up paying for it. Okay, that having you book ahead of time, what it does for us when you book ahead of time, it is such a responsibility from all of our parts. If you schedule, we know how many vehicles we need at any given time, whether you're at the event, whether you're at the airport, wherever. So we do not overload the vehicles in your neighborhood. right? So we know we're going to move 100 people. They already scheduled. We only have that many vehicles for that particular event. Okay, it's very different, approach as being responsible in this market.
Absolutely. What's been the greatest trial or sort of tribulation you've faced in building this company? Is it process oriented, more around the people? Is it strategic, technology?
I think it's all of the above.
Yeah.
But when you have a great people, for me, it's all about people. We're not funded by big corporations. We're family-owned business. We started with one vehicle. We're funding everything. This platform funded through us as a family. But we're looking for a way to, how can we really take this, really make a difference in people's life.
Where did this incentive to focus on meaning and impact, when did that grow? When was that born in you?
Oh, I don't think I have anything. I only have one thing in life. I'm looking for peace forever. This is entirely, it's about how do you bring peace to the world.
We love you.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
How do I contribute to that?
And I think that the technology is interesting because it changes so much. And let's face it, that like Uber's changed so much, Lyft, it all changes and morphs so much. And I believe that there's an ethics to it, and that what really will remain is what really has the best relationship with the consumer. And I will appreciate it. Like if I go, oh, I know there's a set price. I'm not going to like worry about. I've gone on and off even like Uber before, and within 2 minutes the price has completely changed. It's like it's like what's going on? So thank you so much for just putting some ethics in around
I appreciate that, but we always it's all about ethic. Ethic becomes big responsibility. Well, I was going back at changing how can we make a difference in I think bringing this technology. Every human needs transportation. Mobility is that everybody needs, but how we do it responsible, that everybody can have that opportunity so they can get to work, they can have the same thing. I literally believe it. The food, this transportation comes before the food. If you don't have the mobility, you can't move around.
Well, thank you for giving us that mobility and that peace. Tell everyone how they can download Opoly and get a ride with you.
Okay, all you got to do is go to iTunes or download your Opoly app. And by the way, you can have a promo code called Opoly1, and they will get to go for free ride.
Did you hear that, everyone? Download Opoly, Opoly1 for your free ride. Thank you so much for
going to San Diego.
Really appreciate it. By the way, go. You can book not just the airport. You can book at any place. So it's very simple. It's just open up the app. It's a beautiful app.
There you go, and download it there.
Download it there,
it's
right there.
It's beautiful. I myself have had an Opoly ride, and let me tell you,
and we have a little gift. By the way, you just open this little gift here. You have a little gift there for everybody.
Oh. There you go. Get a free ride and share the love. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more.
Thank
Good morning,
so
LaLaLand.
much.
Thank you.
We are so excited. You're bringing back the heat. Season 4, Hit the Floor, coming out next week, July 10th.
Yes.
Wow.
10 o'clock, y'all, be eating.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Totally real.
Hey, I mean, we filmed the show. I saw the premiere last night. We saw the first episode, so it's real.
Wow.
It's happening.
The LA Devil Girls are back.
Yeah, they're back. They're back in full force. Yeah. I don't know how I'm still dancing this hard. And Tiana Taylor is joining our cast.
But it's kind of showcasing the culture of it, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The sex, the fame, the scandal, and the jaw-dropping dances, because there's amazing dance in every single episode. Michael Ring is a choreographer, and he kills it every time. I mean, he's trying to kill me.
Day on the 4th of July. Also want to celebrate Ms. Leanne Tessa. She's an incredible talent. She's part of the Club Mickey Mouse. We got to celebrate with her at the recent release of her hit single, Runnin'. Rob and I were on the red carpet in the most recent issue of Focus magazine. Take a little peek right here. And she sang the national anthem at Dodgers Stadium.
Killed it.
Right? Killed it.
She sure
Let's
did.
take a look.
O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So awesome.
Nailed it.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand, and thanks for tuning in. Today we've been talking about how to turn stress into success. So the last question, the question of the day for each of our fantastic guests is, what's the one tip you would recommend to people for turning stress into success in their lives? Start here.
I would say start every day focused on trying to do everything you can to remain calm. Just think, all this stuff that you're all worried about, most of it never ends up happening. Just let it go. Understand that things are going to happen. Everything happens for you, not to you.
Love that.
So good.
Yeah, I think that you really waking up every morning and just with really positive thoughts and happy. And I think if you really plan your day, like that, you're going to be much more successful and of course, happy as well.
Maybe take a trip to the Beverly Hills.
Get on that beaver bed and have an IPL facial. Your day will totally transform.
All of the above that these gentlemen have said, plus me, myself, I do hot yoga.
Yes.
I think looking at each day as a journey, and so whatever comes is just part of that journey for that day and just embracing it.
Everything everyone said, it's all gold. I spend time in nature every single day. So for me, that really lets all the stress sort of fall off. And I do my best to have mottos, to have affirmations that, help me turn the lemonades to lemons, because sometimes there are lemons. So there we are.
Yeah.
For me, I think life is beautiful. I wake up in the morning, thanks to God, first of all. Typically, when I walk in the morning, take my dog, and that's the time that I think about it. But at work, when I'm stressed out, and I take my Tesla.
It's nice to have a nice car.
And this is what I do. Beach, I'm right there by El Segundo, and I go there and I drop on a PCH, drive about 10-15 minutes, and sometimes take my hands off the wheel because you can do a driverless vehicle, and really give you a sense of a different kind of a thinking, because you really need to get out of your office sometime. We have about 400 employees throughout that. There's always lots going on. So for me, keep my mind up and fresh and moving our company forward and moving everybody forward. I need to make sure that I'm the role model and I give them the energy they need every day.
Well, thank you all for being here and giving us the energy we need. We are Good Morning LaLaLand, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Also available on Apple TV and Roku. And you can listen to all your favorite interviews as available as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. Have a transformational Tuesday. May you live your truth.
It's going to be a Good Morning LaLaLand.